Appreciate it. How y'all doing? Everybody good? I first like to thank you all for having me. I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak in front of you all today. I want to just give a round of applause for you all for not only making it to this point in your collegiate careers. Not many people can make it to this level. Only 7% of high school athletes make it to play collegiate athlete. So, I just want to give you all a round of applause for that. Second, we got to give a round of applause to the administrators, the coaches, Coach Carter, for people that make things like this happen. I was always taught that it takes a village to raise a child. While none of you are children, we aren't adults yet. We still develop into the people that can create change in this world. And those coaches, those administrators are the real ones that inspire change and motivate change in you all's lives. They motivate you when you feel like you can't go anymore. They help you to continue to fight each and every day, no matter the things that you face on campus, the adversity you face on campus, and they can continue to inspire. So definitely a round of applause for the administrators and people like Coach Carter. My name is Doug Middleton, safety for the New York Jets. I just finished my third season. Started a few games this past year. Last offseason, finished my master's in public administration. And, along with that, I started a foundation called Dreaming the Impossible, focused on bringing awareness to mental health. When I started that organization, people said, what do you know about mental health? You're an NFL athlete. You don't face any adversity. It's nothing you go through that's tough. You make all this money. You live the life. You don't hurt. You don't feel pain. You don't suffer any mental illnesses. And, just hearing things like that, it's painful, man. Like, I hurt just like anybody else. I face adverse situations just like anybody else. My days are tough. I spend certain days, I spend 16 hours on the job, grinding away from my family. And days like that are tough, And, just being able to show people that I share the same, adversity that other people face. Mental health has no identity. Everybody in here, whether it's a superstar, whether it's, a famous person, whether it's, Mac Miller, people that we all know, listen to and respect are out here suffering death by suicide from different mental health issues. So I'm here to just bring awareness to those issues and help you all and share some encouragement that hopefully it can help you make some better decisions in the future. People always say, what type of adversity have you faced? Well, the earliest adversity I can remember being my sophomore year in high school, Parkland High School in Winston-Salem. I'm not sure if anybody's from Parkland. But Parkland High School, I was in a position battle with a guy named Ralph. Ralph was a senior at the time. I was a sophomore. And we were both battling for that safety position. I had just finished up my freshman year, had a good start, finished on varsity, got moved up towards the end of the year, and was able to help contribute, make a couple tackles, make a couple plays towards the end. But going into that sophomore year, I wanted to be that starting safety for my high school. I did everything that entire summer to make sure that I worked in the off-season, did the two-a-days, set up ladders in the back of my yard with tennis shoes. I did everything I could to be successful and to take that role. Well, Ralph, he had the same plan on his mind. He wanted to be the starting safety too, but only one of us could line up out there. Come to find out, I ended up winning the starting job. Ralph wasn't pleased with that, man. Ralph wasn't excited about that at all. He taught me some great lessons about preparation and opportunity. You got to prepare for every opportunity that you have. You can't just expect to just come out there and line up and expect success. It doesn't happen that way. And that's what Ralph taught me. He also taught me how to be a good teammate. Being a good teammate means even when things don't go your way, you're still with the team. You're still cheering them on. You're still picking up the rest of your teammates and helping them win. At the end of the day, we all from diverse backgrounds, and we are here to help our teams win. That's why they signed you all to come here. That's why you brought all these student athletes in here to win championships, to put different banners up on this wall. What I also learned in high school is that you need to learn how to have good friends. You need to have a good peer group, a good understanding with a certain people that you can open up to, you can feel vulnerable with. You can explain to them what you're going through. For me, I had that. I had my boys AJ, my boy DJ, and my boy DeAndre. Those are my 3 boys. We went everywhere together. My friend AJ, we was friends since the age of 7, lived a couple houses down from each other, played basketball together, graduated high school together, and you know, we just shared so many memories together. Well, you know, come to find out, I thought those memories would last a lifetime. You know, life doesn't always go that way. At times in life, you're going to face adversity. At times in life, there's going to be things that you don't expect to happen, and you got to be prepared for it. You got to expect the unexpected. So for me, fast forward to, you know, after my rookie season, heading to my my second year in the NFL, finished on practice squad, you know, got 4 games towards the end of the year on the active roster, scored a touchdown, you know, pretty much tasted that NFL success. Well, heading into my second year, I was down training in Miami, where a lot of NFL athletes train in the off season, you know, a typical summer. And, you know, something, you know, didn't feel right this one day. Something didn't feel right. I finished workouts and I'm heading home and, you know, it's still not clicking for me. Everything's still not clicking. So I get home, take a shower, you know, lay down, take my nap after my workouts like I usually do, just a typical day. And then, you know, my girl, she's out in the living room and she gets a call from my dad. So I'm like, my dad don't never call my girl. Like, what's going on? I must have did something. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, what could it possibly be? And she tells me, she's like, well, your dad wanted me to, you know, make sure you were sitting down when he told you this and you know, wanted to make sure you was calm and relaxed. I'm like, what? I mean, just tell me what's going on. Well, come to find out, you know, one of the 3 people that I was just talking about, my best friend, AJ, he had suffered a death by suicide. AJ had shot himself that same day, maybe an hour before they called me, and the police were on the way, and they had, you know, ran up in the house and figured out that he was dead. At that moment, a lot of different things started really running through my mind. I was sad. I was depressed for a while. I felt like I had nobody I could talk to. You know, me and AJ shared a lot of memories together. And, you know, what I could, you know, remember the most about the things that he went through, because he was suffering from severe depression, was that he would explain to me the things that he was going through on a daily basis, but I couldn't really relate. I couldn't really understand what he was going through. You know, to come to find out, only thing that AJ needed was, you know, the friend that he was to me. He needed somebody to just listen. He needed somebody to just tell him things was going to be all right. It's normal. You're not crazy. The things that you're going through doesn't make you any different than anyone else out here. Well, for me, you know, I come from an African-American household, and we really don't know much about mental health. You know, we was always taught to push through. You know, that's just how I was raised. And I mean, you can go in the strength room right now, and I bet you know, your strength coach is telling you one more rep. Give me one more rep. Give me everything you got. Just keep pushing. Well, AJ didn't need that, but that's all I knew how to give him, because as a student athlete, that's all I knew. That's all I knew was to keep pushing through adversity. I didn't know what it meant to take a break, to sit back and relax and take some time for yourself and go talk to somebody, go talk to a counselor. I didn't know what any of that stuff meant. But AJ taught me that mental health is just as important as physical health. I mean, it's just as important. You go in there, you squat, you bench press, you do curls, you do all that stuff. You got to do the same stuff for your mind. You got to watch YouTube videos. You got to feed your mind with different motivational talks. Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, different things like that to motivate yourself each and every day. The things you go through on a daily basis are tough. Many people can't do it. Like I said, only 7% of high school athletes can do what you all do. They can't do it. So every single day you got to feed your mind to keep going. And now, you know that he died, I don't know if I would ever be in front of you all talking if that didn't happen. AJ sacrificed his life for me to come in here and speak and share, you know, information about mental health, information about how to get help, information about what to do when you're going through different things. He shared different things like that. And you know, once he died, I felt like there was nothing else in my life that I could go through that was going to be as tough as his death. There was nothing else. No other adversity that I could face would be as tough as losing my best friend. Well, come to find out, The same day that I buried AJ, my best friend, ashes to ashes, put him, went to his funeral, spoke at his funeral in front of his parents, in front of the community, and talked about how, mental health was so important, the things that I wanted to do and change. An hour after they finished putting him in the ground, I had to get on the plane and go to New York and start training camp, my second NFL season, that same day. We had to report weigh-ins, meetings, all that the same day. Same exact day that I just buried my best friend. At that moment, I had so many emotional things going on, so many thoughts. But like I said, there was nothing that could change what I had in my mind. There was no adversity that I could face that could knock me down. It was nothing. Going into that first preseason game, I had good OTAs, had a good training camp. Going to that first preseason game, I was flying around, sideline to sideline, tackles everywhere against the Tennessee Titans, making pass deflections, making all the big plays. I was doing whatever I could to make the team that year. I mean, it was 90 other guys that I'm competing against, but I know I got, my best friend with me. I know I'm going to make it through. I know I'm going to make this team. Well, I go down to make a tackle and punt, and I'm running down there giving everything I got. And then as I make the tackle, I hear a pop. I'm like, well, that don't really sound right there. I don't know about that. So I'm laying on the ground. As I'm laying on the ground, the training staff and the medics come out. They all come out, and they said, what's wrong? What do you feel? I said, man, I think I felt a pop. I think I felt something in my shoulder, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on. So as I'm laying on that ground right there in middle of the fourth quarter, everything is stopped, TV on a commercial break, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. They have no clue at the time. They can't really tell me. So they rushed me up into the locker room. They said, all right, we gotta hurry up and get you to the locker room. We gotta get you to the locker room right now. I said, all right, well, just tell me what's going on. Well, we're gonna get some x-rays on your shoulder. We can tell you more after that. So we get the x-rays. X-rays come back. Okay, your shoulder's in place. Everything's good with your shoulder. Everything's fine. I'm like, okay, what else can it be? I mean, my shoulder's fine. That's where I feel the pop at. Everything's fine. Well, they said, well, we're going to get an MRI in the morning and we're going to make sure. We're going to get the MRI and make sure in the morning. I said, all right, cool, let's get the MRI. So I get the MRI in the morning. I go on like it's a typical day, like it's an off day. I got to get ready for the next practice. I'm about to keep playing. There's nothing that can stop me. My best friend just died. I had to bury my best friend. Ain't no injury going to stop me. I get yanked out my massage in the middle of my massage. I asked the trainer, what's going on? Why are you yanking me out my massage? I got 20 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get, finish getting rubbed down. What's going on? Well, as he yanks me out, he said, we got to talk to the doctor right now. So I'm talking to the doctor, and the doctor tells me, just look at this blob right here. This big old blob right here is what's going on. I'm like, I don't know what none of that means. You're going to have to explain it to me. I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to school to be a doctor. I have no clue what you're talking about. So it says, some of the story, you tore your pec, you're out for the year, we're going to put you on IR. I'm like, dang, you didn't have to say it like that. You could at least, kind of walk me into it or explain a little bit. Well, that's the situation. You can have surgery or you cannot, but you won't be playing for the New York Jets this year. We're going to put you on injured reserve and, just keep working, and we'll see you back next year. So at that point, I'm like, man, my God, why now? I just had to bury my best friend. Now I'm being taken away from everything that I love. I mean, all I know how to do at that point in time is play football. Yeah, I got a couple degrees. I did this and that, but all I was focused on was playing football. That's what I enjoyed to do, just like most of you enjoy, and you enjoy your sport. I mean, I was out there with my friends. I was doing everything I could to make that team, and now you're telling me it's all being taken away? I didn't understand. So as I sit around, after you have surgery, for some of you who haven't had surgery, all you can do is sit there and think. That's all you can do. I got to sling on for 4 weeks. All I can do is game ready and sit there and think. That's it. And I'm sitting there thinking God, what's next? What's the reason this happening? Why you let this happen to me? So as I continue to think about mental health. I continue to think about the impact that AJ would want me to have. I continue to think about ways I can inspire other people and to educate people on mental health. And that's how I started doing the speaking engagement with NAMI, doing the community events with, kids in my community. And I just became a better person. I became a better human being. And I actually got to step into and see the role that God had for me. So I said, okay, now I see it. Okay, I got this injury. everything's cool now. Like, I understand what I got to do. All right, let's get back to football. Let's get back to being an NFL athlete. All that adversity, that's out the way. We put that all behind me. I learned from it. Let's move on. Let's get to it. Let's get to, being an all-pro. The same dreams that I've been looking at for, my entire career. Let's get to that. The next year rolls around. I'm going as the second safety, second on the depth chart going into camp. An injury happens. They throw me in there. It's two other high-paid veterans. They paying triple times more than me, and they put me in there. So I'm like, God, why you put me in there? What did I do that's so different than what these other guys are doing? Why me? Well, I go in there, and I had prepared. I had did everything I could. I had did the 2-a-days in the summer. I worked as hard as I could all summer. Lifted all the weights, did all the massages, did all the chiropractic work. I did everything I could to prepare myself for that opportunity. September 5th, 2018, I'm lining up against the Detroit Lions, starting on Monday Night Football, the same thing that I've dreamed of my entire life. As an undrafted free agent, most people didn't even think that I could make it to App State. I was App State's last commitment. I only got an offer from App State because 3 of the guys decided they didn't want to go. That's the only reason I got a chance to go to App State. So now you telling me I done overcame that. I done overcame being an undrafted free agent, and now I've overcame, my best friend passing, another injury, and now I'm the starting safety for the New York Jets, my favorite team growing up my entire life. I mean, the story can't get any better than that. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, hey, I finally reached my dream. This is what I've dreamed of my entire life. It cannot get any better than that. Well, some more adversity happens. We go into facing that second game, that Friday practice. I go up, make a normal pick like I usually do in practice. And as I go up for it, my finger pops out. My pinky finger pops out. My finger pops out. I rush to the sideline to the trainer. He says, oh, yeah, it's just dislocated finger. We can pop that right back in. So we in the corner. He's trying to pop it back in. It's not working. I'm like, what's going on? Can you please, let me know what's going on. Why can't you get it back in? You've done it 100 times, right? He said, I've done it 100 times, but this one's different. So he rushes me to the doctor's office. We get to the doctor's office. He tries to get it back in. He walks in like he got it under control. He can't even get it back in. So then he's like, well, we're just going to have to shoot you up. I'm like, shoot me up? It's Friday. The game's on Sunday. What do you mean shoot me up? What's going on? He said, I'm going to shoot you up. We're going to get it back in. Everything's going to be cool. You're going to start the next 2 games. You don't have anything to worry about. We got 2 games in 10 days. We got a Sunday game against Miami, and we got a Thursday night football against Cleveland, Baker Mayfield. This is my only opportunity that I see to start. I got to take advantage of this. Well, he can't get it back in. So I said, man, we got to get x-rays. We got to figure this thing out. Go back and get x-rays. He said, man, it's a clean dislocation. I don't understand why I can't get it back in. He said, well, I said, Doc, what's next in the process? He said, we're going to have surgery. We're going to have surgery to put it back in. I said, surgery? The game's in 2 days. He said, well, yeah, you're not going to play the next 2 games. There's no way you're going to play the next 2 games. We're about to have surgery and figure this thing out. I said, Doc, I got to play the next 2 games. I'm an undrafted safety from Appalachian State, a small school guy. I got to play. There's no way that I can miss these next 2 opportunities that I've worked for my entire life to get, to be missing it because I got a dislocated finger. I said, you can just cut it off like Ronnie Lott. Like, I can get out there and play. You know what I'm saying? I got to get out there. He said, nah, we can't do that. We ain't going to do that. Well, I said, well, you figure out something then. So I go back into the facility, got the GM standing over me. I'm trying on a carbon fiber, glove I'm going in with all intentions that I'm playing. There's no doubt that I'm playing. So I go into surgery that night, have surgery like 10 o'clock that night, get out of surgery at 1 a.m. As soon as I wake up, anesthesia's still in me. I said, Doc, can I play? Can I play? He said, I mean, it's a possible room for infection, but I'm not really sure. We're going to have to see. I said, infection? The infection's not going to stop me from playing. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. So then we get back to the facility that morning, and the trainer says, why can't we just glue the finger together? Why can't we just glue the stitches up, put the carbon fiber glove on it and shoot it up, and he can just go out there? I said, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. So we decided to do that, and we decided to do that for the next 2 games. So I got this big old club on my hand for like the next 2 games. People ask me why interceptions bouncing off my chest, different things like that, like why can't I catch the ball? And I got this big old carbon fiber glove on my hand because there was no way that was going to keep me from not playing those next 2 games. At that point, I realized when I went on to lead the team in tackles over those next 3 games, that there was nothing that could stop me from what was ever in my mind. Whatever I put in my mind is what was going to take place. There was no doubt. There was nothing adversity. There was no failure. There was nothing in my mind that I could not control. And that's why I learned how to feed my mind, man. Devotionals, journaling, writing different things down, that lessons that I learned in life, so that when I face them again, I can look back and say I've already overcame that. And that's how mental health is, man. You face, the number one cause of mental health is when people face adverse events in their life, or they face traumatic events that all of a sudden it shakens them, and they're uncomfortable. And now they result to other things in life. And for me, even at this point, I thought I had overcame everything. I thought it was all good from there. I thought I was all good. Well, that still wasn't the case. It's still more to the story. So I go on a couple more games, go down the road, and I'm lining up against Minnesota Vikings, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins. I'm starting my 4th NFL game, bunch of Pro Bowlers. I'm lining up out there. I feel confident. I'm ready to go. I had a good week of practice. This is about to be my best game. I go out there, the first play, they score a fade route to Adam Thielen. They ain't had nothing to do with me, but they scored. The play after that, we going in the second quarter, the same situation. I'm covering punts, I'm covering kicks, I'm playing defense. I'm doing everything I can to keep my spot on this team. As I'm covering that kick, I feel another pop in my shoulder, in the other shoulder. I said, man, ain't no way, God. This cannot happen again. There was no way that the same situation that I just been through, that you just took me from, that I just overcame, could happen again. There's no way. There is no way. There's nothing else you need to show me. There's nothing else I need to learn. I've learned everything. I learned all the lessons. So I got it written down right here in the journal. I can go back and look at it. There's no way you're going to take me through it again. As I'm facing that situation, I still had some optimism. I was thinking, of course, everything's going to be fine. Everything's just going to be just fine. It's pretty much not anything I can face that's going to be worse than what I already went through. It's nothing that can overcome, that can be worse than the things that I've already been through. It can't be anything. So that morning I come into work after having the MRI. I come into work and, I'm just sitting there, another guy. He just found out that he's out for this season, hurt his neck. He might have a, career-ending injury. And I had an MRI, and I'd never seen an MRI come back good, better than expected. So I'm already kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm still optimistic. I'm still believing that things going to work out. He brings me in the room. Doctor brings me in the room. And he got the whole blob again, acting like I'm a doctor, just showing me different things. I'm like, Doc, like I said, man, I'm not a doctor. You're going to have to just show me what's really going on. So he tells me, he said, yeah, you tore your pec on the other side. It's not as serious as the other one, but you're going to be out for the year. We're going to put you on IR, and that's what the situation is going to be. I said, at that point right there, I reached rock bottom, absolute rock bottom. I thought about quitting. I called my agent, told him I was done. Called my parents, told them I was done. Called my family, told them, football wasn't for me. I'm done. I don't have any other reason to play football. I got 2 degrees. I'm gonna just try that out and see how that works. I'm done with football. I can't handle any more adversity. I can't handle it anymore. At this point, I was ready to give it all away. Anything I've ever faced, I was depressed. I was sad. I was hurt. I had started resorting to alcohol to get, to fight my pain. I was drinking alcohol every night, 1942 every night, getting rid of my pain. Because I couldn't handle the adversity that I was facing. I didn't have anybody to talk to that could understand what I was really going through. I didn't have AJ there. I didn't have, somebody that was out there lining up with me that could know what it meant to go through back-to-back season-ending injuries and lose a sport that you've been playing your entire life because of something you can't control. What that moment taught me right there is that no matter what you go through, no matter if you understand it or not, it's always sunlight on the other side. It always is. Mental health is just as important as your physical health. I don't know how much I can stress that enough. Just like you take care of your physical health, you got to take care of your mental health. You got to go in there and feed your mind and create opportunities that you can get better. You got to find people that you can talk to, find people that you can be vulnerable to. And that's what I did, and that's how I overcame that. I say all this to say that AJ's death, AJ's passing was something that kind of inspired me. It helped shape everything I do in my life now. I attack life with a whole different mindset. Any adversity I face it head on. I face it with other people, and I don't face it by myself. I pray, I journal, I treat myself. I mean, you got to understand in this generation with so much social media, you got to understand how to love yourself. Go out to eat by yourself sometimes. Put your phone down. Just play the video game sometimes and just enjoy being by yourself. It's okay. Being depressed sometimes is okay. Being sad sometimes is okay. Being humiliated sometimes is okay. But it should never reach a point where you feel like you got to take your life. It's so many outlets out here, so many resources that you can use to talk to people. I mean, you can call me, you just got to find certain people that you can explain these issues to. And now I know whenever something happens, I'm not going to attack it with the strength coach mindset of one more rep. Keep fighting. Just keep going. Whatever it is, just don't worry about it. Just keep going. Keep pushing. I'm going to attack it with the mindset that what you're going through is normal, and what I'm going through can be solved as long as I go find help. That sums up for me to say, man, nothing is impossible with God, and everything is possible with hard work and dedication. I appreciate you all giving me the time to come and talk to you all today, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm right here.
Do some questions.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. I wanted to leave some time for some questions. So, we're not going to leave until we get a couple.
Yeah, at least 3 questions.
At least 3 questions.
No questions?
Crickets.
He got one.
Up there.
You said what? You said have a play with him? I'm always believe that, for sure. You know that.
Play. Where you from again? Oh, man.
I'm from Winston-Salem, man. Winston-Salem, Trade 4.
One more good one.
Yeah, one more good question. That's it?
Right here.
Oh, man.
Repeat that.
Yeah, he was like, what it was like playing against Baker Mayfield. The game was actually going pretty good until he got in the game. And then things just kind of switched. The whole stadium went crazy. They was chanting Baker anyway because they was booing Tyrod off the field. And then when he came in, he just started throwing dimes. And the crazy situation about that day was I was riding in the car going to get some cryotherapy before the game. And this guy had the radio blasting in the Cleveland radio talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to get our first win today. And I'm looking like, man, this dude don't even know I play football. He don't have no clue. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. He was like, well, you know, they talking about Baker might get to play. And if he comes in, it's going to be we're going to get our first win tonight. We counting on it. We're going to open all the beer cages that they had. We're going to open all of them tonight. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But, I mean, it was cool experience playing against him. He's a great competitor, great quarterback, and definitely learned a lot playing against him. That's it.
Anybody else?
What's up? What'd you say? You said what? Huh? I can't hear you say. Huh? How long be here? So I live in Charlotte. I just bought a house in Charlotte, so y'all there all-stars, let me know. That's it? Cool?
Got a question? How do you stay motivated?
That's an awesome question. Finally, a real question. For me, I stay motivated, never being satisfied. I'm not satisfied with being injured back-to-back years. I'm not satisfied with just getting a couple starts. I'm not satisfied with just lining up against Pro Bowlers. I want to be one. And I just find new things, new goals every single day that I can strive for. And to be honest, I make mini goals. I make daily goals, things that I can achieve daily that's going to help me get to my long-term goals. And that's pretty much how I stay motivated. Just knowing and being real with myself that every single day I'm not going to work out like a Pro Bowler. Every single day I'm not going to feel like a Pro Bowler. But if I continue to make those small changes every single day, I may get there.
Mine's kind of like a two-parter. Did you seek out help, or did people seek you out? And then the second part is, if you did seek help, what kind of help were you seeking? Like, who did you go to seek help from?
Yeah, so that's a great question. My mom worked in mental health. She's a mental health clinician. She does mental health claims for like huge companies. And she could kind of tell that something was going on with me. And I really, like I said, I really lean on my friends, a lot. I was able to identify people that wouldn't judge me when I came to talk to them about different things. I was able to identify people that could relate, what I was going through. And, I have a best friend. He is a counselor that I met after my best friend passed. And he's been through more things than I've been through, and it's a lot easier talking to him. He was a, functional alcoholic, ran track and played football at UNC, and nobody never knew he was a functional alcoholic. Got his doctorate degree in psychology, runs a mental health organization, and the whole entire time he had committed suicide 3 times, held a gun to his head 3 times. Nobody never knew. So just talking to different people, finding different people you can talk to, and how to find that help. There's counselors, but I would say, to be honest, to be real, like, find people that you can identify with. Find people that you're comfortable with sharing your stories with, because it's not always a counselor that's gonna make you feel better. They're very good at what they do, and there's medicine out there that can make people better. But the real change happens, with the people you live every day with, the people that can hold you accountable when you're going through tough times, the people that can check on you every single day and send that text and make that phone call and know, that I want to make sure that you're okay, type of thing like that. And I had people like that. There was people, and of course, after I had surgery, there was people texting me all the time like, oh, hope the surgery went well. But then a week after that, all that faded. And then now you back to your same 2 or 3 friends that are the true people that care about you. So just being able to lean and trust in them. And, for me, I'm a big religious person, so trusting in God was actually a huge thing for me. And I just tried to, make it happen like that.
What is the process that you go through, like, when you're down to get back up, like, get where you want to?
Yeah, that's a great question too. I know being in the NFL, like they make it seem like it's real easy. They make it seem like you make all this money, you don't have any pressure, you don't have any drama. It's just all roses all day. You can do anything you want, go to any club. It's parts that's like that, but it's not really like that 24/7. And for me, facing my injury, I be honest with myself, and I realized that things are hard, and I'm going to face adversity. And when it happens, I just take a second, and I enjoy the pain. I don't try to hurry up and get past it. I grieve. I really sometimes emotionally, I cry. I let myself know that everything's going to be cool. This is part of life. You're gonna face adversity. Anybody in here, any teacher, anybody that's lived for a long time is gonna tell you, you're gonna face adversity, and it's gonna happen, when you don't expect it. So I grieve. I understand it is what it is, and I can't do anything about it. But after that, it's like Bill Belichick. It's like the 24-hour rule, Nick Saban. I give myself 24 hours to do all I want to, drink, talk, whatever it is. 24 hours. After that 24 hours is over, I'm coming up with a plan to get past this. I'm coming up with a plan that I can put in action to get past the adversity that I just faced. Yeah, that first 24 hours after I had my second injury, I was telling every person in my phone book, don't ever ask me about football again. I'm done with it. I don't ever want to play again. But it probably took me longer than 24 hours that day. It probably took me around 48 hours to really say, like, all right, now you sounding crazy. Let's just figure out a plan. Let's go get this surgery. Let's find a way to rehab back and get back on the field. And that's what I did, man. I came up with a plan and tried to put it in place. and I gave myself time to grieve, and I found people that I could talk to make me better.
In regards to like the taking care of yourself type thing, I know sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, like I'm gonna start taking care of myself. Like, I'm gonna do this, and this. How do you kind of stay on that path rather than like kind of falter away?
Yeah, just like I just said, like you got to find people that can hold yourself accountable. Like I can't bear all that responsibility on myself to make sure that I'm watching YouTube videos or I'm reading or I'm finding different things to put in my mind. Like I can't do all that stuff by myself. I got to find people that can do it with me. You know, like my brother. My brother does the same thing like my dad. Like I find people that are motivated the same way as I am to help me get through it. I mean, nothing in this life or any adversity you face, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. You know, you're going to need other people. And that's what I tend to lean on. And, I mean, if you don't have those other people, I mean, try to find them. I mean, a lot of you are on teams. And it has to be at least one person you can identify with on that team as a friend, as somebody you can trust, as somebody that you can be vulnerable with. Explain to them what you know, how your day is, what you're going through, whatever adversity you got going on back home with your parents, with your family situation, whatever it is, talk to them. And as you talk to them, you start to feel better. You know, you start to feel better about yourself. And another thing I try not to do is compare myself to others. I mean, social media is so hard to not just to get on and see like things like Kylie Jenner pictures with like 4 million likes and compare your likes. It's tough to live in this world. I mean, it really is. It's so much that can make you feel bad about yourself, but you really just got to know and love who you are and how God made you. And once you do that, I mean, you'll learn to really appreciate yourself. You learn to really how to hold yourself accountable to different things and respect the different things that you're putting in your mind. Say it again? My fault. My fault. I'm sorry. I can barely hear. Go ahead, though. How do they integrate mental health? Carolina was actually the first team that got a psychologist, a full team psychologist that's focused purely on mental health. We had one. Nobody really went to go see him. I mean, you know, he was cool, but he was like the psychologist for the Knicks. He was the psychologist for us, for like the NHL team there. I mean, he wasn't really somebody we could feel like we could trust. But to be honest, there's a lot of players, you know, players like me, players like Brandon Marshall, that are really big on mental health. And, you know, we're starting to hold the league to a standard. And it's just been something that, you know, we've tried to focus on. We have mental health symposiums. That was something I was a part of. And we just continue to find different events that can kind of promote mental health. But at the same time, you know, I'm with you. It can always be more that's done. Nothing's never perfect. That's it. Cool. That's it. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
One more time.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So real quick, you know, like you said, there's resources, and we have resources here for you. Okay, in all of our training rooms, there's signs.